What's up folks, my name is Charit and this is a more beginner friendly walkthrough of the Try Hack Me room, the server from hell. This room is rated with difficulty medium, but in my opinion the tasks themselves aren't that difficult, only the tasks require a bit of automation knowledge, specifically scripting knowledge, to get through them more efficiently. So let's begin by deploying the machine. Now always remember to go through the entire task page because it will be giving out very important hints, right? So while the machine is deploying, let me connect to the VPN network. So sudo open VPN. Right, initialization sequence completed, so I'm online. I can check if the connection is correct with IPA command, and I get the tunnel connection, and that is my IP address for the VPN network. Alright, okay, 20 more seconds to go. So let's begin by creating a new folder for our task files, right? mkdir and the folder name. Right. Okay, let's see. Right, we have a IP address for the target device. Let's see if the target device is live. Yes, it is. Okay, now sometimes you might have to give it a bit more time for the target device to come live. Okay, so now we can start with the usual nmap scans, right? Map, I usually use SV for version detection, then the IP address, then -vv for a verbose output because I'm a bit impatient. I want to see the results instantly. Okay, and surprise, yeah, this is not going to work because the target device is responding to all the IP address, all the port numbers. So obviously we can't enumerate each and every one of these. So following the hint provided, I'm going to enumerate port 1337. So I'm going to use netcat NC. Netcat is an important tool for any penetration tester. So I use the IP address and the port number. And okay, the target device has responded with the message, welcome traveler to the beginning of your journey. To begin, find the troll face. He's hiding in the first 100 ports. Okay, so the same command I'm going to do for port number 1. Interesting response. For number 2. Alright, I think we are seeing some patterns here. Now obviously we cannot do this over and over again for 100 ports, so we have to do some sort of automation. So for that, let's go to our folder and let's create a bash script. I'm going to use the nano text editor and I'm going to create a script named, sorry about that, port and .sh, and I begin with the bin bash, also known as the hashbang bash. Okay, I'm going to write a for loop. Now the syntax is quite similar to that of Python, so you might be able to follow if you're familiar with Python. Now bash scripting is a very good skill to develop, so I suggest if you're not familiar with these scripts, go learn them as soon as possible. Okay, for 100 ports, for numbers I'm going to do the netcat command, but the port number I'm going to get from the loop. So in order to call on the I variable, I use $I, and for in the end I'm going to concatenate a new line character, otherwise you're going to get a mess on your screen. The echo command is similar to the print command on Python, and the \n new line character. Alright, to execute you can give the execution permissions to the script using the chmod rsx and this command, but I'm not going to run it because this is a temporary script. I'm just going to use the bash command and the script name. Let's see what we get. Yes, we were correct. We are getting some sort of pattern. Let's see what it reveals. Yes, that is the troll face, and we get some hint. Go to port 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now do we let this thing go through? Okay, since I've been through this room once, I know after like port number 60 it goes nuts and start generating. Okay, now it's giving us new different input, different outputs, so I don't need this. So I'm going to hold. Okay, I can't abort the script. My bad. Okay. Control C to stop the script. So let's scroll up. Now that's the only hint we got. So let's try that again. Netcat. Now for pasting the clipboard items, I'm using Ctrl Shift V. So I have the IP address copied to my clipboard, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. NFS shares are cool, especially when they are misconfigured. It's on the stand port, no need for another scan. Alright. NFS, network file shares. Now let's see what NFS shares are available. We're going to use sorry. Mount. Show mount. Okay, that's the application we're going to use. We get the path for one mount. So let's see if we can mount this share on our local file system. I'm going to make a new directory for mounting the share, right? So our command is mount URL oopsie. Okay, I can't remember how to use mount. No problem, we have Google. Let's see the syntax. So there's no shame in looking up information, because after all we are not using these stuff every day, right? So naturally you're going to forget them. Okay, the problem was, here you go, I have to give the destination as well, so I forgot about that. Must be super user, so I need sudo privileges. So with the 2 exclamation marks, I'm going to execute the same previous command with sudo privileges. Okay, I'm going to give my password. Oops, okay, my bad. Okay, we have some kind of execution. Let's see. Okay, the mount folder is there. Yes, we have some stuff. Let's just go to the working folder, not the mount, and copy the content in the mount folder, right? Backup.zip to our working folder. Right. Now this is a zip file, so I'll try to unzip it using zip. Okay, it's asking me for a password, which I do not have. Now, thankfully, Kali provides us with a tool for brute forcing zip folders, which I don't remember the name of. So I'm going to go back to Google, right? Kali zip. She is, if I remember correctly, fcrack zip. Fcrack zip. I still need the syntax, so let's go through this. Right. UDP password file and numbers. Okay. Now I would recommend you reading the details, right? What these attributes, what these each flag means, but I'm not going to do this in this video. So I need to brute force, we need a file with passwords. User share word list rockq.txt is the most commonly used password file, right? And our zip file is backup.zip. There you go. It was quite quick actually. Never mind. So we're going to unzip backup.zip, and when it prompts for the password, I'm going to just drag and drop, and there we have it. We have a home folder from the backup.zip file. So let's see what's in the home folder. There's a username, right? If you're familiar with Linux file systems, the home folder contains all the user folders, user account names. So that's a big hint in my opinion. ADs. Okay, no visible ones. Let's do -al for hidden files. Yes, there's a .ssh file, so go in there. Oh, there you go. So the flag.txt. So I'm not going to open that. Open it up and see for yourself. The hint. You know what? Let's see hint. 2500 to 4500. So I assume those are the port numbers we should focus on, right? ID, RSA, ID, PUB. Now, from experience, I know these are the files. These are key files, right? Private key and public key files usually used for SSHing into a remote device. So, and another thing is with the key files, I can SSH in without knowing the password. So that's a good hint. So we have to see if SSH is open on our target device. So SSH command, then username, act, IP address. Okay, if we try this, we can see. Okay, Now the default SSH port is port number 22 and the connection was refused by port number 22, indicating that the real SSH server is not on port number 22. This means that hint indicated to the range of port numbers the SSH server may or may not live on. So what do we have to do? We have to go through all the port numbers, like, so -p specifies the port number, and this is what we have to do. So as you may guess, we are going to create another script to accomplish this, right? So let's go back to our work folder. I'm going to make another script the hashbang. Okay, the port number range is 2500 to 4500 if I'm not wrong. That's the syntax. Do done is also in part of the syntax, right? So what we have to do is we have to try SSH into Hades act, and we are going to take the port number from the for loop as such. Now my hope is, now for all the closed ports we are going to get errors and this loop will continue to execute. But when we hit the right SSH server, the SSH service will prompt for the password, right? And that will halt our script. Okay, that's just a theory. Let's try it out. Okay, now this is better than doing it manually, right? I'm sure somebody will come up with a much more elegant solution for this, but this works, so I'm going to move with this. So this script will continue to run. I'm gonna head outside and do some other things and come back once the enumeration halts. Okay. Okay, so now it's likely for our script to halt in midway for whatever connectivity reasons. So you may have to rerun the script few times. You can narrow the search space, the port number range, and divide the scan. Now since I know the correct port number, I'm going to limit the scan to the right range, and soon enough we'll get the answer. Okay, so my theory was correct. Now we hit the correct server and the server responded with the prompt, right? So our script is now halted. Now I'm not going to proceed with this prompt because now with SSH it's going to next ask for the user's password, which we do not have. What we do have are the RSA keys, right? So we need to specify those keys. So I'm going to cancel execution and go to the backups folder we recovered, right? It's home hades.ssh, right? Now we have the public key and private key, hence here I'm going to go with ssh -i for specifying keys. I'm going to specify the ID RSA key, and again the username, IP address, and remember to specify the port 3333. Okay, what's taking so long, I wonder? Okay, we're getting some warnings in our SSH page. I'm gonna close up my nmap scan, which we do not need. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do a ping for the. Okay, it's live. Okay, we got the response. Nice. So this is asking whether we know the target device. This is a security question, and clear enough, we got access. Right now, this is, if you're familiar with SSH, this is not a usual terminal. We can't enter any bash commands, right? So we're getting something else. So again, we have to consult the knowledge base, that is Google. IRB. Now this is the Ruby interactive development environment. Obviously I know that now, but I was never familiar with it earlier. I'm not getting that here. What is this? IRB. You know what? So we did first time. Okay. Now Ruby is a programming language, right? If you're familiar with Metasploit, Metasploit is written in Ruby. Well, I'm not aware of that. I'm not familiar with that either. Okay, so we got some commands here. Let's see. Yep, this is the Ruby environment. Now we need a way to break off from the Ruby environment. Now for these kind of stuff, there's this great resource known as GTFO bins, and here you can find many exploitation techniques, right? So he's telling us how to break away from a Ruby interactive development environment. So this is the command. So I simply copy that, go to my remote shell. Yes, and we have a bash shell. And furthermore, we are using the user account Hades, and we are in his home folder. And right here we have his user.txt file. So that's one more question answered. So what remains is privilege escalation. Now there are automated scripts that can discover weaknesses in the device, and there are numerous paths to enumerate. You can slowly develop those, learn those skills, right? But for this room itself, we are going to check for what's known as capabilities. And if you check the hint, right, it says to use the command get cap, right? So here's the syntax for the command get cap. Then the slash specifies the root folder, so it's going to check all the files and folders on the system. And I just want to view the positive results, right? So I use this comparison statement, def slash null. Okay. Oh, I don't remember though. Yes, there you go. So we found two executables with capabilities to execute as the root user, and according to the Google information I referenced, this tar file, that's unusual. Tar is similar to zip, in case you're not aware, right? So essentially the tar tool can access any file or folder in this device, and so we are going to exploit that feature in order to get access to the root user. Or you can simply read the root.txt file. Now the root.txt file is usually in the /root folder, which we can't read right here. So you could always use tar to zip all the content in the root folder and extract it and read the files, or you can alternatively read the shadow file and recover the root user's password, which is also an option. So in this walkthrough, I'm going to just read the root.txt file. I'm going to navigate to the temp folder because I don't want to leave behind any clues of what I'm going to do, and I'm going to see how to use tar. Alright, Linux tar. Let's see what commands we can use. Create an archive, cvf, tar -cvf, name for the tar file and the source of the content. Let's see. tar -cvf test.tar, right? And our target is root folder. Alright, we have a tar file. Now to extract the tar file, we're gonna use hold up xvf, tar-xvf test.tar. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, we have the root folder, and sure enough we have the root.txt file, and I believe that concludes all the tasks for this room. So I hope the information I shared was useful, and see you in another walkthrough. Thank you for watching. Cheers.